What's going on, everybody? Thank you for checking out this video. Today we are taking a look at a plugin that really helped me when I was first learning audio, especially in a studio environment, and I think it might just help you too. So we're taking a look at another plugin from Waves. I think this is probably like my fourth or fifth Waves plugin review, but they have a multitude of plugins that are just amazing for beginners and experienced users alike. This plugin I got a couple years ago in a bundle on one of their Black Friday sales. I forget which one I got. I think it may have been the Platinum. I'm not sure. Normally, I believe it's a fairly cheap plugin though, even without the bundle. The price is normally listed around $79, but again, if it's Waves, you never honestly should have to pay full price for a plugin with how many sales they have going on most of the time. So when in doubt, just wait a little bit. You'll probably catch a great deal on it. But even at $79, this is a great plugin, especially for a beginner, because it's got everything you need for a basic mix. What plugin am I talking about? Well, of course, I'm talking about the Audiotrack. I'm not sure if the Audiotrack is part of any specific series of plugins or collections from Waves, but I've found that it works very similarly to any of the EQs or anything like that. Maybe I'll do a review of those at some point. But the Audiotrack plugin is basically a channel strip plugin. It has EQ, a gate, as well as a compressor. So for the EQ, you have 4 bands for EQing, and there's no graphic EQ aspects to it. Whenever you play anything, it's not going to show up with frequency waveforms or responses. With these 4 bands, it's pretty easy maneuverability between just like sweeping around, moving it up and down. Frequency, if you click that, you can move it around or you can type it in. And then of course the Q. The Q is the only one you really have to manipulate by the wheel itself over here. You also have 4 different types. You can do the high pass, low cut, a low shelf, just a regular U, or you can have a high shelf. Now you have multiple types of EQ bands that you can use on each one, but the first and fourth are the only ones that offer any sort of high pass or low pass, just because they're on the outside ends. You can turn on or off any EQ band. You can also double click to do that. For the gate, you have the floor, attack, and release. You also control the threshold by just moving the scroller up and down. Same thing with the compression. You control the threshold of where the compressor starts kicking in by moving it up and down. You have control of the ratio, attack, as well as release, and then you have the input and output level control. Like I said, when I was first starting audio, I didn't know what plugins to use. I didn't know what compressor to specifically use, what EQ, what gate, anything like that, or if to even use any of those plugins. When I found the Audiotrack, I turned it on and I was like, this has everything I need in one place. This makes it really easy to just work on anything I want to. When I discovered how easy it was to use and spend some time in the plugin working with tracks, I started to develop an ear for what I needed on each channel and each specific type of track. Eventually, I moved into trying other plugins on tracks and finding which ones I liked specifically, but this was a great way to get started because it took out the guesswork, and I always just knew Audiotrack, I will get a sound that I like. Something else that was really helpful, especially as a beginner, was the presets. With the presets, you just come over to the load section here and you have all these different types of channels. You have everything from guitar to vocals to hi-hats to drums, everything you need for a basic mix. You can always save your own presets. That's a lot of fun too if you find a way that you really like set up on a vocal. Say you're working with a vocalist regularly and you want to be able to just have them sounding good and save yourself some time. Make a preset. It'll save you some time and be really helpful and make you look even more efficient in the eyes of anybody you work with. And you have this setup A versus setup B, so you can always like compare different sounds, tweak them, and then switch over and see which one you like a little bit better. If you're wondering how different EQ, gate, and compression setups affect the sound and manipulate it, you can just click through these arrows here and blind listen to see which one sounds best. You'll see the name of the preset here, so what it's suggested for, but you never know. This pop piano EQ could sound really good on a vocal, or you might find that you really like this compression setup on a vocal and you just need to change the EQ. You never know what you're going to find, so always set aside a little time, especially as a beginner, to try out random things like this. I know I spent hours upon hours just sitting, listening to a vocal pass over and over again with different EQ setups and presets, learning what I liked in a vocal, what I didn't like in a vocal. Even as an experienced engineer, I will take the time to sit down and just mess around with sounds for hours sometimes. And it pays off because it grows me as an engineer and it makes my next mix sound even better. But we're going to pull up 2 presets. Let's pull up a preset for the vocal. We'll just do a lead vocal and see what it sounds like on this pass. This was a live recorded pass, so the mic was picking up a little bit of the piano sound.
On days like this, remind yourself the promises I've told you before. I won't let you go.
Honestly, that sounds really good and clean. It brings a lot of presence to the vocal. It might be better if there was a full band that she needed to cut through, but even still, I really like the sound. Now let's take a listen to the 2 keys channels. And you know what? Let's go with, let's just do classic piano. Can't go wrong with that. You can see it's got this gate engaged. This is an electric piano and she was playing the whole time, so we probably won't see much effect from that, but let's see what it sounds like. That is a beautiful sounding piano, and honestly, I love this EQ. And the little bit of compression, it's a little bit more than the vocals actually, but it thickens the overall piano sound, I believe. But just for full comparison, so you can see the difference between the 2, we're gonna play a pass right here with all of the audio tracks bypassed, and then we'll turn them all on. And just for your own reference, the channel level is set at unity. It's sitting right at 0. There is a little bit of compression and limiter on the master bus, but that's it.
On days like this, remind yourself the promises I've told you before. I won't let you go.
Now let's turn all of them on.
On days like this, remind yourself the promises I've told you before. I won't let
So I think with the audio track, it really pulls out some sharpness in her vocal and a little bit of thickness from the piano. I could be happy with this setup, especially working with just presets. Like I can't complain with the sound that it's bringing out. When in doubt, you can always head over to Waves. Unless you have already used the free trial, there should be a free trial on the Waves page for the audio track, so you can try this out. I think you get a week with any of their free trials to take it and mess around, even compare some of your mixes, some of the previous stuff you've done with similar plugins, and see if you like what the audio track has to offer a little bit better. But thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you found all of this information helpful. The audio track is a great plugin, and I hope this helped you decide whether or not you want to add it to your collection. If you guys like what you're seeing, please subscribe. I've got a lot more stuff like this on the way, as well as covers and other musical related content. Leave a like and comment. Tell me about any plugins you want to see in the future or anything musical that you have questions about. I know this is a great plugin for beginners and I am by no means an expert, but I have definitely grown over the years and I can't wait to see how I grow in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time.